alone in Wicker Street, and it was watching. Ellie had never expected to find peace in a place like Wicker Street. The narrow lane snaked quietly through the old part of town, where the houses leaned close together, their brick facades mottled by years of rain and time. She moved in just as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, the fading light casting long fingers of shadow that tangled with the creeping mist. The air was cool, sharp with the scent of damp leaves and wood smoke, but the silence was what unsettled her most. It wasn't the kind of silence that promised rest. It felt watchful, like the street itself was holding its breath, waiting. The townhouse she rented was an old thing, all creaks and sighs, with narrow windows that seemed too small for the grand rooms inside. As night deepened, Ellie sat by the window, the glow of a single lamp barely pushing back the darkness. Outside, the street was empty, but something about the way the shadows shifted beyond the glass made her glance over her shoulder more than once. It was as if there was a presence just beyond sight, something patient, waiting silently to be noticed. She told herself it was just nerves, the aftermath of her recent loneliness, but the uneasy feeling clung to her skin like a chill. On the third night, the noises began. At first, subtle, soft tapping at the window, like a fingernail tracing the glass. Ellie froze, heart hammering, convinced it was a branch or a stray animal. Yet each time she looked, nothing stirred. Then came the faintest whisper of footsteps on the sidewalk, slow and deliberate, stopping just below her window before fading into silence. She dared not open the curtains, afraid to confirm what she dreaded, that someone or something was out there watching her. Sleep became a fragile, elusive thing, her dreams haunted by eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Days blended into nights, each moment thick with a growing dread. Ellie noticed the feeling of being watched even in broad daylight, glances from passing neighbors that seemed too quick, too knowing. Her phone flickered with static when she tried to call for help, and lights in the house dimmed unpredictably. Most unsettling were the small, impossible changes. Furniture subtly shifted, objects misplaced, as if someone had moved through the rooms in her absence. She began leaving notes for herself, reminders that she was alone, but the answers she sought never came. The silence around her grew heavier, as if the house itself was closing in, breathing with a slow, rhythmic pulse. One night, driven by a mix of fear and defiance, Ellie opened the front door to confront whatever was lurking beyond. The street was empty, bathed in cold moonlight, but the sensation of unseen eyes pressed in like a weight on her chest. She stepped out, heart pounding, scanning the darkness. Then, from the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse, a fleeting shadow slipping between the trees lining the street. "Frozen," she called out, but only the distant rustle of leaves answered. The watcher was there, always just out of reach, a silent guardian or a merciless observer. Ellie could no longer tell. The house behind her seemed to sigh, the door closing softly, sealing her back inside with the secret that would never fully reveal itself. In the days that followed, Ellie found herself trapped in a liminal space between reality and fear, unsure if the watcher was a figment of her unraveling mind or something far more real. The town's quiet facade masked a history she was only beginning to understand. Stories whispered about disappearances and silent witnesses who never left their posts. Whether the watcher was protector or predator remained a mystery. But Ellie knew one thing: Wicker Street was alive, and it had chosen her as its next secret. As she sat by the window once more, eyes fixed on the empty street, she realized that some silences were meant to be broken, and others to be forever watched.